I think one of those challenges that we faced at Titus is because we grow around 50% a year. I mean, that's 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 good growth for a small company. We're not in the tech space, that's
Hmm.
not our primary deal. We're built
That's
on people.
terrific.
That's our resource. So seeing us grow that much, there are certain roles where here are the traditional paths where you're going to grow here, and develop you here. But then there are other roles where, and we're sitting here right here in this podcast studio. A year ago, we weren't doing this.
Right.
So we hired a team of people, which if I looked around the room, they're here. And what does their career path look like? Well, I don't know. Like, what are we going to do? So we're establishing a creative department because we want to tell stories of
Hmm.
meaningful things that we're doing, meaningful things our clients are doing. We launched a podcast, so all these things, but we don't really. It's not. No one's actually been before, so there is this pioneering component for a number of roles in our company, and we we can only see you fulfill those dreams as the need is there that aligns with our mission
Yep.
and aligns with our values of how we go about doing things. I think that tension as well when you're hiring people and building teams into new pioneering areas. Um, there's a certain pace that we are going at, and it's like, there's that tension. I remember a number of years back we said how many we'd asked everyone about their career paths quite a few years back, and 40% of the company wanted to had received some kind of promotion. When we used to talk about promotions, now we talk about development,
Hmm.
but we sort of title changes. And I'm like, okay, we have to grow at least 40% then. And so if we're going to set the budget at 40% bigger, not just like we grew that much, we're actually setting the budget at that. It caused so much anxiety and stress because people are like, oh my gosh, we have to grow that much. I'm like, yep, if you all want to get what you want, that's what we require. And so it's like this is interesting tension and balance. And I'm wondering how you do that with creative, because you've got a lot of creative folk on your team.
So yeah, it can't be an open checkbook.
Right.
It and I can't recall who coined it first, whether it was Sam or Greg, and so apologies if you're listening to this, but it's a business that happens to do architecture, so we have to have the
Yes.
business focus as well, or we can't grow, we can't
Right.
support
Yeah.
the other things that we're exploring. So that has to be in place too. So we do take a lot of time to explore. Let's say someone brings us a career path that they've,
Hmm.
and we've asked people to do this. Like if you see an opportunity that we're of doing something that we're not doing, whether it's a new market service line
Yeah.
or it's a new way to approach the way we do our work. We've got someone that's now focused on the visualization side of creating renderings and things like that that wasn't necessarily a position
Sure.
a while back, those types of things, but we vet it out, we look at whether we have the need, things like that. um, it is a creative industry, and so it's a little more subjective than objective when
Yeah.
we're looking at career paths, a little less so on the engineering side, which
Right.
actually is exciting to me to have. That's It's not a bad tension, it's a good tension. Now
Yeah.
when I go to interview engineers, I'm not quite as much in my comfort zone when I'm talking engineer
Yeah.
speak,
Speak. Yeah.
and I let our other people get
Yeah.
involved in that, but it is a subjective field, and so it isn't quite as easy to define those
Yeah.
paths. But I'll give you another example. So we don't always have every opportunity that someone wants to consider, but and in our administrative group, for instance, there's less opportunity to continue to grow. There's only so many positions in marketing or accounting, or
What do you say to
how do you
them?
create a growth path
Yeah.
there? One of the things that we did a number of years back was the person that was at our front desk at that time, the title was receptionist. We've shifted that to EUA ambassador
Yeah.
and very intentionally changed the name to that. We see them as the interface between our employees and
Yeah.
the people coming in the door and our clients. And
Okay.
in order to make that something that we didn't have a turnover
Yeah.
on, we looked for ways that they could get involved beyond sitting at the front desk, taking packages and answering
So they
phones.
still do all of that.
We still have that need. So
Yes.
yes,
Okay.